can't keep doing this. I can't keep giving you money and stuff like that. I'm going to severe debt. I'm losing money. Hang on. I gotta call you back. Hang on. Hey, you guys are from 360 Cribs, right? Well, while you're here, why don't I give you a little tour of the Peyton Heron Museum of Pop Culture. And remember, no loitering. As you step in, you can see one of my first exhibits. We have some of my Lego. I used to be really into collecting it, and you'll see it later down the line in the Star Wars section. Right here, I've got sort of my landmarks, aka just random things I've built, or just sets. So I've got like Statue of Liberty and Empire State Building. These are all movie cars built out of Lego. We got Batmobile, Ecto-1, Mad Max's Ford Falcon. We've got everything. Down here, this is an empty shelf. The only thing is on it is my Voltron, because he's too massive to be put anywhere else. I just got him right there for right now. Down there, sort of a miscellaneous. I've really got to start spreading out the figures more. I mean the sets more. If you come in, close the door, you'll see the massive Daredevil poster, because Daredevil is my favorite superhero. So I have this massive poster. I got that while I was on vacation. This is my favorite comic book series of all time, The Man Without Fear. Now I've got this massive Joker poster my sister got for me for Christmas a few years ago, and a bunch of Hot Wheel Batmobiles. That's another thing I collect, but I don't really have a lot of space to display on my Hot Wheels. I've got those put up. Right here we have the guest book for the Peyton Heron Museum of Pop Culture. Any guest that decides to come visit me will sign their name right here, and I'll have a little record of who's visited. Right here we have all of my, well, not all, but we've got some of my favorite comic book covers that I have. Some of these are originals, some of these are reproductions. I don't really care. I just think they look really, really cool. Moving on to the Marvel section, on the greater Marvel section, if you will, we have these are sort of my props. So I've got like Peter Quill's cassette tape, I've got the arc reactor, I've got the Captain America shield, but I've also got my MCU Avengers, if you will. And I've got the Grandmaster because I love Jeff Goldblum. Right here, I've got my comic book Avengers with some villains onto the left side. It's pretty cool. I've also got, I try to separate them as best I can by a team. Down here, I have the X-Men. These are strictly just X-Men characters. Like I said, villains over here with my Sentinel. Love that. Down here, we have my movies. Now, there are about 2 layers. You can't exactly see all of them, but I have stuff like Rambo, Alien, Terminator, stuff like that. And right here, I've got all my MCU movies. I've got my DC figures, but let's be honest, no one actually really cares about those. Am I right? Moving right along, we have my entertainment section. I've got this massive GameStop display of Halo 4. I found it at a thrift store for $5. I was super lucky. Right here, these are all my Nintendo consoles. So I've got the Switch, GameCube, stuff like that. The original NES. Only Nintendo consoles I need now are the Wii U and the Super Nintendo, and then I'll have all the original Nintendo consoles. Coming down here, we have the Sega Genesis, and there's other miscellaneous consoles like the PS3, Xbox, stuff like that. Also, my Blu-ray player. These are just some of my games. I've got a bunch put up in storage, but these are just the ones I choose to display or the ones I play most often. I think it's pretty cool. Right here we have the original box of the Sega Genesis. I've got the original box. I found that at a thrift store. That was pretty cool. $1. Star Wars. This is a big part of my room. Star Wars stretches from over here all the way to over there, and even on my ceiling. As you can see, I've got the TIE Fighter. I've got a TIE Fighter and a TIE Interceptor about to intercept a little squadron of Rebel fighters, the U-Wing, Y-Wing, and X-Wing. Y-Wing is my favorite Star Wars ship, by the way. Right here, these are all Imperial vehicles, because my favorite faction from Star Wars is the Empire. I've got my little Imperial army right here, behind Commander Fox. We've got all my Imperial officers and stormtroopers. I've got a little squadron of Mandalorians right there, just different. I've got a few repeat characters, doesn't matter. This is my very small Black Series collection. I like to keep it simple. I've got some of the main characters. I still need to get Chewie and Lando. Down here, we have a Lego skateboard. That's a prototype. I haven't finished. I've got to, get the finer details worked out on that. However, Elijah built the base of it. I'm just going to decorate it. We've got some just little knickknacks. These are two vintage. That's a 1977 Darth Vader, and that's a Bestman Luke Skywalker from 1981, I think. Don't quote me on that, though. These are all my Star Wars books. These are all for my literature. I like to read. Whenever I get a chance. Right here, these are all my Legos. Like I said, I was really big into collecting Legos. I've got them all separated by color and stuff like that. So like a pretty cool rainbow, I think. Okay. Whoops, I kind of messed it up. My mistake. Right here, we've got some of my Vans. I like wearing Vans. I like the flat bottom shoes. They really support me well. Some people call me a poser, but I don't really care. It's a free country. I can wear whatever shoe I want. I've got a very small, it's growing, my helmet collection. I know, it's kind of funny because this is all Star Wars and I've got like a random Master Chief helmet, but honestly, where else was I going to put it? I couldn't fit it with the video games, so. Anyways, it's just right there. I got that right there. Back here, it's a little messy, but I've got some Star Wars figures. Star Wars lightsabers. I've got the energy sword. This is a piece of conduit. I'm in the electrical class at my school, and I got that. I won something for that, for bending it so well. I got some more posters. Fun fact, those posters have been in the same spot for about 4 years now. I've never moved those because I've always just liked the placement of them. This is very important right here. This is my first ever toy lightsaber. It's very important to me. It's very special to me. It's Darth Vader's. There's a very, very funny story behind that, but I don't have time to tell it today. Right here is my small Indiana Jones section. My mother actually hand-painted that logo right there because she's very talented. I've got another Star Wars poster up there because, like I said, Star Wars kind of inches throughout the whole room. Over here, I've got my very small Back to the Future section. Right here, I've got because I love Back to the Future. It's one of my favorite movies in my top 3. I've got the Out of Time. I got the Almanac. I got everything. Right here, this is a sort of miscellaneous. Anything I think is cool, I'll put right here. So right here, I've got Kermit the Frog with my hidden blade from Assassin's Creed. I got that from a friend. That's pretty cool. I've got my VHS copies of some old movies. I got the hoverboard from Back to the Future. I've got my skateboard. It's a Kryptonic. It's kind of poopy, but, I like it. It's what I need. Lava lamp. It's hot. Yeah, picture me seeing the DeLorean. Yeah, picture me at Disney World. It's just, it's cool to have. This is a mini fridge. I don't use it, though. Right here, this is an authentic. This is, my uncle gave me this. This had this in it. My uncle had this in his room when he was a kid. It's an original Nintendo poster. Now You're Playing with Power, 1985. It's pretty good condition if all things considered. It's got a little right there, but what are you going to do? Now, for my favorite sections, we have the Transformers. As you can see right here, we've got the Transformers and a little bit of miscellaneous action figures down there, but we'll get to that. So we have the Decepticons. These are all Decepticons. These are all my vintage, like vintage G1 figures right here. I keep them in the box, and I think they look cooler in the box. I mean, what are you going to do with a G1 figure out of the box? You can't really do it much. You can't really pose them. They're not exactly posable. So you should keep them in the box. I got the Season 1 and 2 ARC bots. I got the cast of the 1986 movie and also Seasons 3 and 4. So that's pretty cool. I got miscellaneous figures, so I've got like Predator, Alien, stuff like that. I got Gundam. I collect Gundam, but I normally end up selling them to Elijah. I got, a few video game figures over here. I got Shell from Portal, because Portal's my favorite video game. Got Tripticon. Largest Transformer ever put into production via mass, but it's going to change when they make Unicron. But I'm not going to buy Unicron because I don't want to pay $600 for one figure. I think that's pretty much it. I got G.I. Joe. These are vintage G.I. Joe figures. They're actual from the 80s and 90s. These are my uncle's original figures. I think they're pretty cool. They're kind of put here in the back, though, because I don't really have a lot of room to display them. But the biggest thing to remember is that this is an ever-changing museum. I'm always getting new stuff. I'm always getting rid of old stuff. So in a few months, this will be completely different. But I hope that you guys got sort of a feel for the kind of aesthetic I got going here. And who knows, maybe one day I'll have to make an update video. But for that, thanks for coming. and taking a visit with me with 360 Cribs. Thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. Love you guys.